Hi, my name is Ariane Barnes. I'm a performer, producer, and improviser, and I'm the founder of the Different Women Project. We empower women and those who work with women to stand tall and strong in their chosen craft through performance and psychology. We focus on empowering women of colour and LGBTQ women and those who are particularly interested in using performance and social justice as forms of creating practical change in real ways, as opposed to just talking about it. That doesn't really do it for me. It's a bit like sex, long term, not going to work. So this vlog post is about the upcoming online event I'm curating on the 30th of September, Race and Improv and Interactive Research Jam. This is a chance for you to understand why I think it's necessary and why I had my heart set on fusing improv, research and safe space for this particular event. So let's start with the elephants in the room. Bun the elephants, man. We don't need them. I'm going to be straight with you here. This isn't for the faint-hearted. Straight talk incoming. Let's start with the really obvious question. What the smeg is a research jam? I know it sounds strange, but it's the culmination of many years of being part of the UK improv scene on my own terms. Now, some of you might know me from Showstopper the Improvised Musical. Some of you might know me from Hell Yeah, or from the work I've done with the Equity Race Equality Committee. I served on that committee for 4 years, for very long years. Or maybe you've just noticed I'm a hardworking artist with a passion for social justice. And if you don't now you know. So when it comes to why I created this particular event, all of those things apply. When it comes down to it, despite the wave of interest in diversity following the recent Black Lives Matter uproar, the trust that anything will actually change in a way that will tangibly affect performers and particularly improvisers of colour isn't there. Fellow improviser and friend Rosie Bergonzi has a quote in one of her videos about this that says, "I don't trust you white folk to stay woke." That kind of says it all, doesn't it? Up until now, I feel like there's been a really specific way of handling diversity issues in improv and performance because one does not work without the other. And there's a very technical term for it. It's called "no one knows what the fuck they're doing. Let's all hop around on one leg and use the same words and hope for the best." Yeah, okay. So what that culminates in is being granted the odd scholarship, if we're lucky, not being consulted on most things, the occasional Bane casting, not always paid, the categorization and simultaneously being told, not shown in a way that makes sense to us on stage, that we are more than a category. And on top of all of that, we're focusing forever stuck in the limitations and fear of punching up, punching down, punching across. Where am I punching? Being politically correct and the responsibility of not messing up white people improv. What the hell is that anyway? Well, like a lot of people out there, it took me experiencing all POC improv to understand it. When I first stumbled onto Do the Right Scene through Ty and Monica, I couldn't believe the difference I saw in my game almost immediately. I'd been to all POC comedy nights before, and as a mixed race person, I definitely had my own experiences with that. This was different. First of all, the night was a total mix of glorious heritage, multiracial in the proper sense of the word, and all POC. So the level of trust and inclusion just felt much more elevated than anywhere else I'd ever played. The audience reaction was much more on-side, less careful, and the atmosphere was brilliant. All I know is I went from being ready to give up on the UK improv scene entirely to feeling like I belonged and that I had all sorts of permissions to go wherever I wanted and that I was trusted. Yes and could finally mean yes to my heritage, yes to the obviousness of it and the inherent comedy within that, and yes to my choices not being determined by the ethnicity of the players around me. And that really made me think, because that could really only mean one thing, that playing with and for white people is a totally different game, and this experience is not uncommon. Now, I'm not going to lie, that hit me like a truck. When you pride yourself on matching inner and outer game as much as you can, all the awareness sort of hits you between the eyes, Famalam style, like many POC players out there. I had no idea how much this had been affecting my game and my choices. It's really bloody obvious when you think about it, because making changes according to all that politically correct stuff, when you're at the center of it, is bound to have an effect on the way you play. It's psychology 101. And guess who has 2 parents for therapists and a yoga for mental health diploma? So my head just went, how can I change this? How can I bring us together rather than divide us? What do we need as a community? And that's when the idea of a research jam was born. I reached out to Monica Gaga and Do the Right Scene and the awesome Minda Kaur Atwal, and I put my offer on the table. Let's create a safe space for POC to talk about race and improv honestly, how it affects our game and our choices without limitations, and use the answers to build bridges and progress throughout the performance world. Let's make it fun. Let's make it honest. Let's make it for us and by us, and let's hope that those that say they care will listen to what we discover and make changes for the better when presented with the facts. So I really would love to see you there. You can register now online, and if you can't make it, or just, reach out to us, because we'll be booking one-on-ones too and doing questionnaires and thing. Yeah. And it also has a stuffy white people explanation of why we're doing what we're doing. Great. So please show up, because we can't do it without you. Say yes, my brother. Say yes, my sister. Go on with your bad self and get your ass into the research room. No, seriously. Peace. Are we done? Good. Okay. Look, just come. Yeah, can we just tell them to come?